My dear students, we are going to learn the fourth chapter from history, that is British exploitation and resistance. This lesson we want to learn about British exploitation. Okay, by 1857 the majority of India, nearly 63% of India came under the direct rule of British. The remaining regions ruled by the kings, but they are subjugated to the British. So this lesson we want to learn how the British policies affected the Indians. India was basically an agricultural country. Okay. So the land revenue system introduced by British really affected the Indian farmers. It broke the backbone of Indian farmers. First we want to learn the three land revenue policies introduced by British in India. The land revenue policies introduced by British, that is permanent settlement or zamindari system. Then the next is Mahalwari system. Next is Ratwari system. The three land revenue policies introduced by British, that is permanent settlement or zamindari system, Mahalwari system and Ratwari system. Permanent settlement or zamindari system. This system they introduced in the northeast region, that is Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Okay, these regions British introduced permanent settlement or zamindari system. The name indicates zamindar. Okay, in this system, zamindars were made the owners of land. Zamindars collected the taxes. The actual farmers became the tenants. Okay, and the farmers want to pay nearly 60% of yield as tax, and the tax want to pay in the form of cash before the cut-off date. Okay, so permanent settlement means there is no role for the actual farmers. They were made the tenants and the full land under the control of landlord, that is zamindar. Okay. Next is Mahalwari system. The meaning of the word Mahal is village. In this Mahalwari system, which is introduced in the northwest, permanent settlement in northeast, Mahalwari in northwest. Okay, Mahalwari system. Mahal means village. So village headman collected the taxes, and village was treated as a single unit. Okay, but British frequently increased the tax. That made them very difficult to pay the taxes. Okay, so in this system actually a fixed amount was given to the village, and the whole village they want to collect that amount and they want to give it to the British like that. Okay, then the next is Ratwari system, which introduced in South India. Okay, Rayat means farmer. So in this system, farmers were made the owners of land. But what happened is that the tax was too high and British frequently increased the taxes that made the life of the farmers miserable. So which are the three land revenue system introduced by the British? Permanent settlement or zamindari system, Mahalwari system, Ratwari system. Permanent settlement or zamindari system introduced in northeast, Mahalwari in northwest and Ratwari system in South India. In permanent settlement, that means zamindari system, in this zamindars were the owners of land and they collected 60% of yield as tax, and actual farmers became tenants. This permanent settlement was introduced by Lord Cornwallis, okay, with the help of British officer John Shaw. Okay. Actually, the real aim of British is to get maximum revenue from the farmers. At the same time, they supported the zamindars. Zamindars often collected too high amount as tax, and the fixed amount they gave to the British and the remaining money they kept with them. So under this system, the farmers suffered a lot. Okay. So all these are the three land revenue system introduced by British in India. But what happened is that later when the farmers they were unable to pay the tax in the form of cash before the cut-off date. Majority of farmers took loan from money lenders by mortgaging their farmland. Later what happened is that the farmers, they want to pay interest for loan and at the same time taxes. When they fail to pay the interest for a small amount of money, the land will go to the hands of money lenders. In this way, money lenders also exploited the farmers. Actually, all these matters resulted in the commercialization of agriculture. What is meant by commercialization? Commercialization means change in production. That means before the British period, the Indian farmers mainly cultivate food crops. Each of the villages are self-sufficient. They produce whatever crops needed for their village. But the British, they came to India not for our food crops. They are interested in cash crops. Okay. So the British forced the Indians to cultivate cash crop spices instead of food crops. So for getting more money, our farmers cultivated cash crop instead of food crops. So the change in the production from food crops to cash crop is called as commercialization. The impact of commercialization is poverty, famine and unemployment. Okay. So what is commercialization? Change in the production from food crops to cash crop. So that change in the production form, that is called as commercialization. Later the fields in India produced the market needs of Britain. Okay. The best example we want to learn in Indigo Revolt. Okay. So the next part is Indigo Revolt. Indigo Revolt. What is indigo? Indigo is a dyeing agent. Okay. By 17th century, industrial revolution started in Britain. Textile industry is one of the major area that witnessed industrial revolution. Those days there was no artificial colors. So the industries depended on natural colors for giving color to the clothes. Indigo is a natural dyeing agent. Okay, so it gave color to the clothes. So indigo was in high demand in England. The Britishers, they forced Indian and they encouraged Indian to produce indigo. In 1780, India produced only 20 to 25% of indigo. But within 30 years, that means by 1810, India's indigo production increased. Not only production, export increased from this 20-25% to 90-95%. Can you say what is the methodology used British behind this increase in production? Actually, the British gave some advance amount to the farmers. Already the farmers want to pay high tax. So easily the farmers fell in the British trap. Later, the British forced the farmers to produce indigo in their fertile part of farmland. Okay. Later what happened? The fields in India fully grown with indigo. The part previously used for food crops cultivation, now all these areas for the cultivation of indigo. Like that way, the British increased indigo cultivation in India. But during the time of harvestation, the British agents collected the indigo for a less amount. In this way, okay, the British agents exploited the indigo farmers. Later, the natural colors, instead of natural colors, artificial colors started using in industrial sector. Then indigo became obsolete. But the Indian fields were grown full of indigo. Actually, it resulted in the indigo revolt. Okay. The indigo farmers in Bengal, they stopped indigo cultivation and they attacked British supporters and indigo factories and indigo farmlands. They put fire to the indigo farmlands. It is called as the Indigo Revolt. Later, British decided to start a commission to learn about the problem of indigo farmers. This commission pointed that indigo farming is uneconomic and it is better to stop indigo cultivation as soon as possible. Okay, so in this part, easily we could realize the commercialization because the British tempted the farmers and they stopped the production of food crops, and those areas vested for food crops, now they encourage the production of indigo. So later they don't want indigo. Okay, just think the condition of the Indian farmers. It resulted the outbreak of indigo revolt. Okay, the next is Malabar Rebellion, Mappila Rebellion. Okay, Malabar Rebellion of 1921. Okay. Actually, Malabar, it is divided into North Malabar and South Malabar. North Malabar, everything is calm and quiet. But South Malabar, which include Eranadu, Valluvanadu, Ponnani Taluk, all our areas belong to the South Malabar. Here the condition was not so safe. Okay. British introduced high tax system. Okay, with the support of Zamindars, the Zamindars and British together, they exploited the farmers. It resulted in the Malabar Rebellion of 1921. The farmers were made the owners of land, severe exploitation suffered by the Britishers, even the farmers were evicted from the land for non-payment of taxes. All this resulted the outbreak of Malabar Rebellion. Nearly 22% revolt happened in Malabar. Okay. In Malabar, the majority of farmers were Muslims. The Muslims in Malabar were called as Mappilas. So this rebellion also called as Mappila Rebellion. Later, British started Malabar Special Police, MSP, okay, to suppress this rebellion, and also William Logan Commission was set up to inquire about the causes of rebellion. William Logan Commission pointed that the main cause for the revolt was the unfair land revenue policies implemented by British in Malabar. Okay. So these are the problems the farmers suffered. Next, we want to learn about the tribal people. What are the problems faced by the tribal people in India? So two important rebellions we want to learn. That is Kurchia Rebellion and Santal Rebellion. Okay. First is Santal Rebellion. Santals. Santals are the tribal people of Rajmahal Hills. The hills in Bengal, Bihar, that area, that is called as Rajmahal Hills. Okay. Tribals means they are the originals, aboriginals. Okay. Even the British rule disrupted their life. Santals, their main way of living, that is cultivation, hunting, collecting forest products and all. Okay. These are their main occupation or the livelihood. The British rule disrupted them. The British declared forest as preserved, okay, and they stopped and they never allowed the tribal peoples to enter in the forest, and also implemented high tax for forest product. Okay. The Santals are two strong people. The British taken them to work for laying railway lines and to work in plantations. At the same time, the British cleared forest for laying railway lines and the trees taken for shipbuilding and all. Okay. So at last, the Santals were totally fed up and they took arms against British under the leadership of Ziddo and Kano. The Santals had such a heroic struggle against the British. But my dear students, what happened is that they can't withstand for long. Later, the Santals rebellion was suppressed. Okay. Siddo and Kano and thousands of Santals were killed. Rajmahal Hills became battlefield. But very soon, the Santal rebellion was suppressed. So this area, first we learned what are the main livelihood of Santals. That is collecting forest products, cultivation, then food gathering, then hunting. Okay, so all these are the main occupation of Santals. But later what happened? Their livelihood was disrupted by British, implemented forest law. The Santals were never allowed to enter to the forest. Same time British cleared the forest. Santals were taken to work in plantations, etc. It led to the Santal rebellion. but later it was suppressed. Okay. Then the next is Kurchya rebellion. Okay. Kurchyas and Kurumbas. Kurchyas and Kurumbas, they are the tribal people of Wayanad. Okay. In Kerala itself. Okay. Kurchyas and Kurumbas are the tribal people of Wayanad. Even the British disrupted their life. The three main causes for Kurchya rebellion, that is high tax, compulsory to pay the taxes in the form of cash, seizing agricultural land for non-payment of taxes. These are the three important causes of Santhal rebellion. These are the three important causes of Kurchya rebellion. So, the Kurchyas and Kurumbas under the leadership of Raman Nambi, they started revolt against the British. They also led a heroic struggle, but later it was suppressed. Okay. There are many tribal revolt happened against British in India. That is Kol, Bil, Kasi, Munda, Paharia, Kurchyas, Santals. These are some of the important tribal uprisings against the British in India. Thank you, my dear students.